It says preparing. Okay, we should be live now. So welcome everyone. As you can see, this is a smaller group today, so we might keep this a little shorter, but we'll go through a couple of things here. I'm going to share my screen. We'll look at some hub posts.
And just to start, I didn't include this on the list because this is new, but I had posted on the hub to send everyone over to uh, Lumio proposals to vote on Madison's, which looks like it has gotten a very positive response already, and to consider and comment on, but not yet vote on the um, the big map proposal. And we have a comment, I think it was from Connie, saying that um, she didn't have access to voting, and I've gotten that from some people who try to vote on Lumio and can't. So
Well, let's see. e-NABLE. Where is
she
that?
said she said she needed
Members.
to be invited to vote.
Requests. I only have one outstanding request, which is Nita, and I'm approving her now. But there's only one there, so I don't know if you said there
Okay.
were other people.
So I think she's the second person to say that she needed to be invited to vote. I will just comment and tell her to
You know,
send a request to vote.
Yeah, I mean they have to. We don't really have a way of inviting people. There's a button they click to say request to join, and then we
Okay.
approve them pretty quickly when we see those.
Okay.
All right. So we've got some posts here. Let's look at these. Mohammed, this one I already addressed. He was seeing a discrepancy in the price for this course. This is something that we offer, but it's through our partners at
Okay.
BitSpace. And I suspect he was trying to go directly to their site because it is normally sold for a higher price. We sell it at a special price for e-NABLE. So I just directed him to our site where he can get it
Okay.
for the right price. So I think that one is taken care of. Roughly posted about a person needing a finger, and he's asking for help because of the cost of shipping a device to this person. And there was a comment, somebody was asking if, maybe we could find somebody in the patient's area and which country is she in? And Rafli answered that there are no volunteers in his country, but he didn't say what the country is. So I asked that question again because maybe we have volunteers that Rafli isn't aware of. But if not, maybe at least in a closer location where shipping costs wouldn't be so high. So I think we're just kind of waiting to get some clarification on where this individual is. Looks like we're talking about something like a Nick finger or a kinetic finger. So it shouldn't be too hard, but we need some details about where this person is. Uh, Same person commented about another case, and this one looks more challenging. So he's asking about what design might be suitable for this. And honestly, my thought is that we might not have a design that's suitable for this. It gets very tricky when you have that much sort of residual anatomy towards the top of the hand because it doesn't fit well into most of our designs. So in order to scale it to where the hand can fit comfortably, the device ends up being larger than what would correspond with the other hand. So that's a tricky one. John, do you have any thoughts on that?
Um, I'm thinking that something that laid over the top of the hand.
Yeah.
Basically, you imagine a phoenix or a kinetic, and you slice away most of the palm, just enough to overlay something onto the back of the hand, and then it's strapped on, might conceivably
Well,
provide.
so you're talking about something custom.
something custom, although it might be something you could customize with a hacksaw and hot water.
I know the Kinetic does have a version uh, without the thumb for people that have a thumb. I have not worked with that one. I don't know how well it sort
Mhm.
of, you know, allows that natural thumb to function, but that would be maybe a starting point for
Mhm.
what you're talking about. But I guess we would need somebody willing to try that. Or at least, I don't know, maybe we can just share these thoughts with Roughly. I don't know if this is somebody that's more in his area, maybe he would want to give that a try, but I would think starting with the thumbless kinetic hand and then maybe modifying it the way you're suggesting, John, to cut away some of the lower palm components could
Mhm.
be an option. Okay, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of there. So, uh, Sarah, maybe you could sort of share that or link to this part of the recording or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
And Sarah, in all of these roughly cases, where is the recipient?
yeah, that one didn't specify. This one, do you have any journals or research related to Enable's kinetic hand? I need several references to make a proposal to get funding assistance from my university. Um, so I don't. I know
Yeah.
free, what is it? Freehands3d.org. Is that his website? No. Kinetic hand. Let's see if we can find it real quick because that's, yeah, Matt Botel is the one that does that. And where's their website? It's not coming up anymore. I know it was something like Freehands 3D. Yeah, I wonder if their site is down. Let's look at the Thingiverse page and see if maybe he links to it from there. Instructions. There's free 3D hands. Maybe that's it. But I still don't. Yeah, I don't see a link to the website here. Free3dhands.org, .net. I don't remember what it was. It's not .org, .net.
It is .org. It's free3dhands.org.
Oh, okay. Maybe I didn't give it long enough. There we go. Okay. Yeah, and there, okay, looks like the site's still active. Learn more.
Hi, my
There
name's
is,
Matt Botel, and I'm the
okay, we
founder of
don't
Free 3D
need
Hands.
audio.
We're a charity that designs and manufactures
Where is
low-cost
that
assistive
coming from?
devices. We provide them free of charge to anyone, anywhere in the world. We even
Is
have
that you playing that, John? Because I don't know where that audio
Oh,
is coming from.
not on purpose, sorry.
Okay. Um, global reach, public speaking and interviews, media, FAQs. It looks like there's some good information here. I would just suggest that we link them to this. So if somebody could just share that, in fact,
When
here,
he says somebody,
Could you put a link to that in the chat and I will,
I'll just put it in
oh,
now,
okay,
just as
thank you.
easy. Okay, there we go. Christopher, current leader of the Vancouver chapter. Unfortunately, having to close my chapter, I've collected a significant amount of donations since beginning the chapter and would like to donate these funds to the Enable community, et cetera, et cetera. I would also like to obtain a charitable donations receipt for my records. I'm trying to,
This was something that has come out of the chapter auditing
okay.
that I've been doing. So,
Someone called- okay, so Jay McDonald's asking if he might be looking for somebody to take over the chapter. Um,
here's some information about roughly, interestingly.
So there, I think what we have here is sort of people saying, "Hey, I have a chapter if you want to transfer the funds to us."
You know, I had a conversation, I guess it was with Sarah about this.
yeah,
Yeah, a transfer from one chapter to another would be fine, and we don't have to be in the loop.
Well, we have to make sure that the receiving chapter is a registered nonprofit and could give that, tax receipt, I think.
That's right. But
Otherwise, it would have to go through the Enable fund. That doesn't still means we could maybe designate a target chapter to receive the funds, but they could be donated to the Enable fund, give them a tax deductible receipt, and then we could allocate those funds to the chapter of their choice.
right, the trick here is that those who donated did so with the expectation that the funds would go directly to funding devices and not education, marketing, or administrative expenses. So actually ensuring that that's the case is
Yeah.
a little bit burdensome. So
Yeah.
if they can take care of it just by funding another chapter that they're comfortable with, great. If not, we'll try to figure something out, but it's only a couple of $100. So it probably is not a good thing for us to spend a lot of time trying to figure out.
Gotcha. I didn't see that. Okay. All right. Well, so we'll leave it at that. See if we can find another chapter that can provide the necessary receipt. Otherwise, we can facilitate if needed. All right. And last one here is Haley. Currently a high school student in Philadelphia, working on printing the adaptive devices from Tech Owl. I'm not familiar with Tech Owl. Are you guys?
Yeah, it's part of the
Oh, that's part of the state programs. Okay.
yeah. Mm-hmm. And
Printed out
I
multiple tools. Oh, those look nice. Okay. Going to be donated to my local nursing home. I've attached the video and photo. Along with that, I'm trying to make prosthetics for people in Korea. Since I'm going on a trip to Korea on August 30th, I wanted to see who I can make prosthetics for. Ah, okay. So do we have any way of finding good recipients in Korea?
mean I connected her with a new member and
Okay.
I think that they're having an exchange, but if either of you know
No, I don't.
of any
Don't
Oh,
have
any
interesting.
possibilities.
So this person says they're going in the opposite direction. They're making
Yeah.
devices in Korea, hoping to find people to help in the US. Well, okay. All right. Well, I mean, it looks like you at least connected them with someone they can collaborate with. I'm not sure I have any better ideas, at least right now. This is a problem we're trying to address by getting a better website up and then doing some outreach and marketing to get the word out there to people that might benefit from our devices, but that's all still work in progress.
It's
So
a
I don't,
very pretty photo, and I'm delighted to see assistive technologies there.
yeah, definitely. Definitely. So unfortunately, I don't think I have any better advice right now. We're gonna have to leave that one as is, and hopefully they come up with something. All right, so let's see. Did we have anyone else join here? Oh, there's Evan. Okay, Evan, we wanted to talk about something, and I don't remember what it was. Remind me, please.
Yeah, it's the 6 month
Ah,
form
yes.
I gotta fill out for Arrow.
So I predict with regard to that, so just to summarize, Arrow has said, hey, we gave you money 6 months ago.
What have you done?
We'd like to know what you've done. And I predict that in 3 weeks, we'll be able to talk about the website development project. We're going to want to know how much, but
Right.
that's
I mean, we can already
underway.
talk about that. I think we have that further down here. So we did allocate $1,000 for the initial exploratory phase of the big map, which was successfully completed, and we are now hoping to pursue the next phase, which would be another 7,500, right, John?
That's right.
So, and this is a project I don't know if you're familiar with it, Evan, but this is all about helping give us the tools to tell our stories and to show impact that we're having around the world. And that would be a tool for, helping to get better engagement and also assist with further fundraising. And so that's in the works. We did approve an $11,000 investment into building a new primary website and matching platform, and that project is in progress. It's probably not going to be finished by the time we submit this report, but it is underway. We just had another status meeting with the team yesterday, and people are proceeding and making progress with their tasks. So that's moving forward. This is another proposal that we have out there currently, which is from Madison proposing to help with outreach coordination, which is something we've long needed to help kind of establish new partnerships and connect with communities that could benefit from our assistance. And is that one been, have we started the voting process on that one, John?
Yes,
Yes,
We
indeed.
did, okay. In
yes,
fact, let's take
I
a peek
think.
and see. I got to get back to. Oh, I have to go over to threads. Okay. Outreach proposal and voting stands at 11 in favor, 1 against. And how long is this still going to? Closing the 29th. Okay, so we've got a little over a week left. We've got to do probably a little promotion on this one to get more people voting, and it looks like it will not have a problem passing if we can get the numbers. I don't recall, what is it? We need at least 15, I think, if I
I think
remember
18,
correctly.
but
It's in here somewhere. For passing, at least 20 total votes with at least 80% in support. So we need about twice the number of votes we currently have. So we got to do a little promotion on that, but then it looks like it'll pass with no problem. That's for this outreach coordinator project. And Sarah, have you had chance to think about maybe the scope and amount for this project where you were going to do an overview, kind of a 1-2 pager?
Yeah, I can talk about that at the next town hall.
Okay, because it would be nice if we could
what-
put some kind of a dollar amount to that. Evan could include that in
Yeah,
his report as something that we intend to
okay,
support, which I think also is shows a nice impact. Uh,
okay.
we
Um,
talked about allocating, maybe 20 grand towards digital marketing and PR, but that's got to wait until after we get the new website up. So that's more of a future plan. I don't know if that would go in the 6-month report, but it's certainly something that we are planning to utilize those funds for. So it might be worth talking about. We have these 2 catalog related projects, device catalog
well,
projects in
we have
progress, but
approved, what's not in your list above is the internship program, which did pass for Brandeis.
okay, and that's for the catalog, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember what amount was approved?
I'm on Lumio. Here it is. And
About
$3,000
$3,000.
total.
Okay.
And
Okay, so there's another one. So Evan, looking at these kind of things that we've reviewed here and these numbers and projects, does this give you a good start towards a 6-month report? But well, I shouldn't assume this is you. Who is the who wants to take the lead on putting this 6-month report together?
so first of all, these are, I think we're in very good shape here. We have these well-documented Lumio proposals, each of which explains itself. I would frankly just write a cover letter that enumerates them with the dollar amounts, includes the links to the Lumio process, and my guess is that that's all they want. And I suppose it should come from me because I'm the guy they approached, but
and I can definitely help with that.
all right then. So if you want to just, thank you. If you want to put something like that together, then you can pass it to me. I'll do the cover letter and then Evan can pass it all to them. And I wouldn't
Wait.
talk a whole lot about what more is going on. I think it's actually almost exactly right that we've committed maybe 30% to well-justified projects, and that those projects will help us figure out what the next steps are in the coming quarters.
Okay, so John, I just sent all of those details to you by email so that you can
Cool.
pull from that as needed, and we'll look for you to draft something.
Okay.
Put a link to the report in chat. I think y'all might be able to open it. It's only 4 questions.
Right.
One of them being, what progress have you made? Other than that, it's total estimated number of people impacted. Again, that's a tough one. We tend to just throw out a guesstimate, which is fine, I think. 5,700 was what we used when we did the initial application, and so that's why it's pre-filled.
Okay, so you basically just need to fill in some answers to these things, John.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Pretty easy. Okay.
Yeah. Once the little summary's done, I'll upload it. The other ones are just, that's it. Actually, that's pretty much it. That's it. And then if the last one is, do you have volunteers that need support? It's a yes or no question. If I hit yes, I imagine they'll reach out.
Well, we always have volunteer needs, whether they can support them or not, I don't know, but I'll leave you to answer that how you see fit, John. Okay.
You know, their volunteers are of a certain kind. They have a big, so, I mean, two things come to mind. For example, as some people have asked whether the $7,500 for the big map project is an appropriate cost. One could reach out to them and say, hey, you have someone there who could do that, but I wouldn't. I think it would just slow things way down and at best save us a few $1,000s and burden them with something. They're a shipping and logistics and electronics company. You know, there is a really interesting new motorized kinetic knocking about from this guy in France. And I'm hoping that there will be a town hall or a bionics meeting devoted to that project. That's one where Arrow might actually be able to put together a package of the relevant materials and we make it available. So it's something to have in mind. I'll think about it. Right now, there's nothing obvious, but I think you want to use their time well.
Yeah.
And give them something really concrete.
Okay. I think we're all set for that report then.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have any updates right now on that big map project. I mentioned earlier that the first part was done and now there's a Lumio discussion thread going about the next phase for $7,500, and we'll look for feedback from the community on that. Decide how to go from there. Let's see, Chaz joined us last time to talk about some interest in partnering. I guess we'll save that for when he's with us again. Any updates on the chapter audit process, Sarah?
Yes, I'm continuing to hear from people, mostly just very short responses to say that their chapter is either active or inactive and they would like to be removed. You know, I can't be sure, but my estimate right now, based on emails that haven't gone through, that addresses that are no longer valid, and the responses that I've gotten so far, I would guess that of the 260 chapters listed and of the chapters potentially not listed on the map that are active, we probably have somewhere around 70 active chapters. And that's just my guess right now, my best guess right now, based on what we have. And then actually, there, I had an interview yesterday with a very active chapter in Singapore. They meet every Sunday, and they're not yet listed on the map. They say that they have applied and are waiting for approval.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, Jonathan has been helping me with that, but I don't know if he's had a chance to look at the latest chapter applications. I can go in and help with that as soon as I have an
Jonathan is here
opportunity.
now.
Hey, Jeremy, I just hopped on a minute ago. I'll take a look and see if there's any pending.
Excellent, thank you. Everything else going okay with the badges?
Yeah, absolutely.
Excellent. Appreciate your help with that. All right. And anything else that we can do to support this chapter audit, Sarah? Do you have the resources you need?
Yeah, I think I'm good for now.
Excellent. Okay. Let's see. There were some notes in here about our U.S. state assistive technology programs geared more towards Adam to give us updates. So we'll maybe wait until he's able to join us. We already talked through our strategic initiatives and kind of where those stand. We are making progress on the website, and Jonathan and I are going to be meeting to work on some of the translation stuff. We have 2 developers plugged in now too. One of them working on tying in our Maps API for the tying our forms to the map and that sort of thing. We have another developer that's working on updating those forms and setting up the database. And so there's a lot of good progress happening, and Morgan is managing that project. Let's see. We talked about the outreach coordinator proposal that needs some more votes. So, Sarah, can you maybe help to get that word to Madison, encourage her to maybe do some promotion on that one and, share it on, make sure it's visible on the hub as well
Yeah,
as maybe on social media.
I just followed up with her about that this
Oh, okay.
morning.
Great.
But yeah, so I think there's 7 or 8 days left to vote. So
Yep. Okay. All right. Very good. So hopefully that one will get there. And, yeah, I think the rest of these we covered pretty well. We don't have Ian or Eric here, so I assume that both of those programs are moving forward. Does anyone know anything about the status of the internship? It looks like it was approved, but do we know if that intern is actually engaged and working now? Has that gotten started? Okay, John might know, but he stepped away, so we'll leave it for now.
I think Ian had said that he would be ready to give an update next month.
Okay, great. All right, let's see, grants report. This was coming from, let's see, Adam and, who's Adam's colleague? I'm drawing a blank on his name now.
Jason?
Jason, thank you. Sorry about that, Jason. So I assume there's still some activity going with regards to going after grants, but I don't really know the status of that. So we'd have to wait for an update from him. I don't see anything else on here that we need to cover right now. So let me kind of open things up while we have some time. Is there anything? Oh, and welcome, Kimmy. And is there anything that anyone here would like to discuss that wasn't on our agenda? So we have time to address it if so.
Hello, Kimmy.
Yes. Hello, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm not sure if this is something totally relevant, but I was recommended by Miss Sarah Gilbert to attend this meeting to discuss my volunteering needs at e-NABLE. I know if something this is public or I could speak about here, but I just sent something in the chat. Hope somebody could address this really quickly. I don't want to take much of your time, so.
Oh, that's okay.
Well,
Kimmy.
thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. It's a nice opportunity. And we do use the town hall meetings just to meet interesting new people, especially when we have a little bit of extra time. What are you studying at Georgetown?
I am currently majoring physics, and on top of volunteering needs, I have a chance to use 3D printers with kind of unlimited material on PLA. So if anyone needs anything that I could print and I could ship for free if you're in the United States. So if you need anything, just let me know.
Well, now slow down.
Hmm.
How
That's
is
not
it
kind
that you have access to unlimited material and free shipping?
For a month, yeah, from now.
Oh, for a
Yes.
month. And why is
Yeah,
that?
that is because I am getting funded while I'm in South Korea. When I go back to the United States, I will be a bit limited because I need to use a Maker Lab in Georgetown.
Hmm.
I will
So-
still have access to 3D printers in general.
And the free shipping that is available is just this month and
No, the
Korea?
shipping will be available as long as it's printed. I could just bring it to the US and then ship around August or anytime afterwards.
And who's paying for the ship?
Me, if needed. If that's something related to 3D prosthetics, I'm willing to.
So you got some kind of a mini grant as a student, which is
Yes,
allowing you,
yes. Yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It I'd be interested in seeing what you proposed and what they have offered you. You've actually got quite a powerful offer if only we knew what to do with it. One thing that comes to mind, which Nita, who we came across in Lumio earlier today. There's a student at the University of South Florida who is trying to organize something like what we did to Ukraine. I'm just wondering whether Kimmy should connect with David Mazer for the Ukraine project to see whether a whole bunch of splints might be something she could churn out and then ship to Ukraine if that project is alive.
Yeah, and another possibility is, Kimmy, I don't know if you're aware of, we have a sort of a segment of e-NABLE that's focused on partnering with these various state-run assistive technology programs throughout the US. And they are generally each one has kind of a catalog of generic assistive devices. These are things that don't have to be customized or sized for a given individual. It would be things like, certain kinds of holders, or, something to assist with, opening a bottle or a door or whatever, task specific devices that, and the nice thing about these is they can just be printed and shipped, and so it's just a matter of cranking out as many as you can and sending them to these various collection points for these state-run programs. That might be something else worth considering if it's just a matter of, hey, we have printing capacity, and we have materials and we can ship them where needed. That might be easier to have an impact than trying to find individual recipients for devices and then figuring out how to customize what's needed for each one.
I appreciate both offers, though. For the second one, I did research about it. I know you guys are partnering with Illinois' Assistive Technology Program, IATP. I did
Yes.
reach out to them. However, it seems to me that I'm not really seeking for convenience. I'm seeking more for my personal interests in 3D prosthetics. So
Gotcha.
I know that opportunity and I will be aware of it, but I'm also prioritizing needs for 3D prosthetics in general. Even if I'm
Understood.
not
Yep.
involved in like the assembly, but at least I could print out, that's nothing that needs medical knowledge. So
Got it.
So
Okay.
Kimmy, you should be
it's nice
aware,
that
you may be aware, but I'll just say it out loud because we have lots of volunteers who print 3D printers. We have a shortage right now of people who say, I need a 3D printed hand. Now, you're in Washington, D.C. Madison, whose last name I'm forgetting, is also in D.C. and is becoming involved in outreach efforts. She's got a proposal that's being voted in right now on Lumio. Because you're in DC, when you're back there, I do suggest that you get in touch with her, both because she's a neighbor with you and because you two might become an interesting power team, and she's a nice person. Madison Bondo.
sure. Yes. Yeah. I did read her proposal as well. I do want to hear a little bit more about your first offer for Ukraine, though. Who should I reach out to?
His name is David Mazer. I predict that his email and a link is going to pop into the chat any minute now.
I can connect you
There
directly.
you go.
I'll
This is
send
how it
an email
happens.
with both of you.
But this is a
Got it.
young man. He was a high school student last year. He organized a project. He's of Ukrainian descent, and he knew some people working in the field in Ukraine. And in current zones, current war zones, prosthetics are not really appropriate because fresh wounds need a year or so before you can offer them prosthetics. However, splints, basically plastic shells that people can put over an amputation, are just to protect the sensitive wound and to immobilize, for example, the wrist if there's been an injury. Those are of value, and they can be 3D printed flat and then shipped, and then in the field, you put them in hot water and you thermoform them to conform to the shape. So it's just a very quick cast. For a while, we believed, and I still believe, but I don't have any updated information, that that was a need that we could address. And so checking to see whether that's still a useful way to help is potentially a way of producing a big bunch of a single thing that would be very useful in an area. The woman who I mentioned, Nita, is now trying to organize a similar effort in for Gaza. These are very challenging circumstances, but she also has reached out to David. So you and Sarah ought to check that out and see what the current viability of that approach is.
Thank you. Another thing, since you're addressing my issues right now, I want to mention that I read through the e-NABLE website when I joined recently in early June, and it seems like you need also need volunteers that work online, helping people get approved for badges and stuff like that, or anything that could be within the hub. I would also be willing to volunteer my time for that, at least like 10 hours weekly if possible.
Really
That would be
nice.
great. Yeah, right now, Jonathan is here on the call with us, and myself. We are handling badge authorizations, but we can always use more people helping with that. And then it just becomes kind of a first come, first serve. Whoever can get to a badge request first can handle those approvals. And so, having more people on that team is very helpful. So if you're interested in that, I'd be happy to set up a Zoom call with you and show you how that works and get you set up with the right permissions so you can help us with those.
Sure. If there's any other volunteer offers just like that, that's the one that I just popped up in my head at this moment, but I'm sure there's other ones. If there's one, just let me know. I sent my email on the chat. Yeah, and I'll definitely be interested in that. How should I reach out to you?
Why don't I put my email for you here in the chat?
Sure.
Kimmy, what did you say you're majoring in?
I'm majoring in physics and I'm a freshman, so you probably shouldn't expect that much physical knowledge from me at this moment.
That's okay. And how are your
John, we lost your audio.
Yeah, I lost his audio too.
your social media chops? Are you on Facebook, TikTok?
Yeah, I lost his audio too.
Well, that was weird.
I heard you saying Facebook's TikToks.
Yeah, there was some weird delay with his audio and then he dropped out. So I'm assuming he'll be back momentarily. But it looks like he disconnected for the moment. Oh, here he comes again.
Sorry about that. Sarah is involved in a chapter audit right now, and the next stage of the chapter audit is going to involve pinging various chapters on Facebook and checking their presences and so on. That's an activity that has little appeal to Sarah, and if you're comfortable in the land of Facebook, that's an activity that could really use a dedicated, focused volunteer.
Wow. I did not. I mean, I did some outreach while I was in an international biotechnical competition, like just for the competition itself, doing research, doing outreach. But I'm not sure this is the similar type of thing that you're
No,
asking me.
in this case, are
Yeah,
you on
I
Facebook?
I
You
don't,
use Facebook?
well, okay, I don't think that that's a very, the most rewarding volunteer, activity. And I've,
Okay,
if I am struggling with that, I will, bring it back up again, but.
okay. I'll try to remember, Kimmy, that you're available for a fairly systematic 10 hours per week. Jonathan, Jeremy, Sarah should all think about a way of coming up with something that will be useful to us and rewarding to Kimmy.
Yeah, and we can certainly talk about the digital badge awards if that's of interest to you. Can you just send me an email and we'll go through that together. It's not that time consuming, so it's not going to take you the 10 hours a week that you mentioned. It might be an hour or two here and there just because there are multiple people handling it, but I'd be happy to have you involved if that's of interest.
Sure. If any other volunteer coordinators are here, could I please have your email addresses in the chat so I could like reach out to you individually whenever you seem available to?
Yeah,
With-
Kimmy, so I have some people that I'm going to connect you with.
yeah.
And but if you want to email me outside of the hub, I just put my email in the chat for you too.
Okay, great. Well, it's a start, and we'll hopefully find other interesting opportunities to take advantage of your generous offer to help, Kimmy. So thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Does anybody else have anything that we didn't get to? Okay, well, I'm just going to propose that we wrap up a little bit early then, because I have some things I need to move on to anyway. I hope all of you have a good couple of weeks. I think our next one is going to be the first Friday in July then, right? Because I think we're doing these the first and third Fridays. So we'll see you guys next time.
No, I will be in Panama the first week in July. I'll try
Oh.
to attend the meeting, but it's iffy.
Okay,
And Jeremy, if you could stick around for a moment, I
Okay.
have an extraneous issue for you.
sounds good.